So, good morning from Indonesia, everyone. Good afternoon to some of you. Good evening to maybe most of you, and good night. I think no, right? Because I think it's too early for your bedtime, and I just woke up. So, hopefully, not anyone would be fall asleep during the presentation. But if you feel that way, please let me know so I can sing a lullaby song to all of us so we can fall asleep together, right? For all of you who has been here to join our session today. Thank you so much for the Global Spotlight to Tricia that allowed me to join you today in this beautiful Sunday here from Indonesia. How are you? I hope this find you well, happy, excited, and well, especially during this pandemic situation. I hope, even though with all the limitation challenges we have out there or inside our home, we still be able to inspire each other to create more initiative for the better world, right? I'm so delighted and I'll be honored to be able joining you today to present a session, True Spark session with the title Build Back Better with SDG, Finding the Superhero Within You. By myself, Ayu Pratiwi Muyasyaroh, SDG Storyteller. Okay, first of all, please allow me to introduce myself. My name's Ayu Pratiwi Muyasyaroh. I'm from Indonesia. At core, I'm a youth leadership enthusiast, meaning I love involving myself in youth leadership campaign, movement, in community development, so on and so forth. And next year, I will continue my study at Wageningen University and Research in the Netherlands. And also this year, I just joined ICLEI. I hope that you have ever heard about ICLEI, which is one of its regional workshops that aim to harness on advocacy and strategic communication for young leaders from Southeast Asia and Timor-Leste region. And also last year, I just completed my responsibility as a youth leader of Indonesia Youth Ambassador of Goodwill for the SHIP for South Asian and Japanese Youth Program. So that's pretty much from myself. For me, I mean, so how I started my SDG advocacy? Well, I graduated from chemistry, focusing on environmental study. So on my final year, 2015 to 2016, I joined Climate Tracker, also from Canada, as one of its journalists to publish articles that highlight climate change. So from there on, I continue my advocacy, my work in environment as a consultant, which I over initiated ranging from technology to policy recommendation. And from 2018 till today, I found my purpose in SDG by marrying my passion in environment and with my vocation in youth leadership. So by combining the two, I found a purpose in SDG because I see that SDG is all about, global agenda. It's about involving massive campaign, involving massive collaboration from all aspects of communities of every country, right? I prefer to be called as SDG storyteller rather than SDG advocate. Well, indeed, by profession, I am an SDG advocate. I work with UNDP Bangkok Regional Hub, UN Volunteer Asia Pacific, and UN SDG Action Campaign. That's my profession on paper, but in reality, I prefer to call myself as SDG storyteller. Why? Because many initiatives of SDG campaign use expensive and scholarly terms that many people or society are not familiar with, right? So how we can expect people to contribute to a mission that they are not familiar with? So because people love story, people love to share and hear story. That's why I'm trying to tap into this, where I try to share stories about SDG, how they can contribute to this campaign, to this movement by sharing, by storytelling, by engaging people to a compelling story. That's why I call myself SDG storyteller. And that's why it's been 5 years, right? But SDG still have poor awareness because of, I believe for myself that the movement, the campaign is not really engaging all groups of society because of this gap. So therefore, the topic that we're going to learn together today would be, first of all, must be SDG 101, the description and the significance of SDG, what causes the evolution of the SDG itself, and then how we progress this today, especially in regards to pandemic situation. And also it is followed by youth and SDG, what is the importance of youth and why SDG and youth has a solid and strong connection. And the last one would be, of course, resource and tools to help you start your own campaign. Okay, now let's go back to 2012, where MDGs are 3 years left before it ended in 2015. So as we know, as I believe that all of us here know, the MDGs or Millennium Development Goals are a set of 8 goals that were considered as an urgency at that time to be accomplished by 2015. And 3 years before it ended in 2012, the world leaders gathered at the UN summit to decide what we are going to do after this goal ended in 2015, what the world should look like, what we do, how we are going to moving forward after this Millennium Development Goals ended in 2015. And this was reinforced by agreement of a document titled The Future We Want, enacted in 2012 UN Conference on Sustainable Development. From that being said, the connection between MDGs and SDGs is that these 17 goals, the 17 goals of Sustainable Development Goals, are are the continuation of MDGs. So MDGs itself is the parental goals that gave a birth to SDG. SDGs serve as a continuation of MDG. So they are connected strongly to each other, but SDG has a significance compared to MDG. And what is that? As I mentioned before, that SDG serve as a continuation of MDG. But is that it? What is significant of SDG? I mean, if there's no differences between the two, why we should so happy? Why we should be involving more on SDG if MDG and SDG is just the same thing, right? So the significance of SDG is that the first one is it is country-led and community-driven, meaning local efforts become fundamental here. That's why all SDG campaigns always boils down to localizing the global agenda into local action plan. The second one will be it is heavily focused on inclusive movement, meaning drawing from its own tagline, leaving no one behind. SDG become spread the spirit of leaving no one behind, involving everyone to be engaged actively to its campaign. So especially the furthest one of society, which is the marginalized group. So SDG is about including all, SDGs for all and all for SDG, leaving no one behind. The last one will be comprehensive action plan, meaning SDG itself defined as the global goals consists of 70 global goals, 169 targets, and more than 200 indicators. They are all translated into a set of strategies, point of entries, and partners. So all combined in one goal, one comprehensive goal that engage and involve everyone, everything in one goal in a time duration of 15 years from 2015 to 2030. So it's only 10 years left. So we're gonna have to accelerate to speed up our progress to reach our goal. So as other movement or campaign, especially the global one, we also have some sort of role in SDG. I highlight some sort of because SDG is more like soft law. It's voluntary, but it's trying to tap into these issues that arise because of the hard law, the law that government use, the international organization use that we have today. It's not being able to solve the issues yet. So that's why SDG, from how it's trying to tap into by raising some regulation, for example, like how we use the logo and how we pair the logo with our own logo, especially from non-UN entities. For example, if we want to use the color version, vertical and horizontal, we can use with that form, like I share with you on the screen. And also the color version of 17 SDG icons. You can have all this for free from UN website. It's all right there. You can just Google it, SDG icon, and how I use my logo to SDG logo, and you can have everything out there. Just Google it, you can find everything out there. And then how you pair your logo with SDG itself. So you can do it by pairing them side by side, your logo first and then SDG. So that's how you use the logo. This is very important. Why? Because when you are campaigning a global agenda, you want to make sure that you are meeting with what the mainstream are trying to introduce to the society. Because if your campaign is slightly different or totally different with what the global agenda is trying to introduce to community, then the message, the core message of the SDG is not going to be shared very well to the society, right? Because it has slightly different. It's not, how to say, it's not, it doesn't meet with the protocol. So we also have the protocol how to ensure that your message is in line, my message is in line with the global agenda, how it was born in 2015, right? So the next question would be, we hear the evolution of SDG. What makes it so special, right? What's the importance of SDG? I mean, we hear SDG everywhere, but when we get asked about the global goals, about the global agenda, about SDG, we still have no solid answer regarding its progress, challenges, so on and so forth. Do you know why? Because due to its high transparency, because everything out there about SDG, you can just Google on YouTube, whatever, you can have everything you need from SDG. And I think about SDG updates, progress, programs, challenges, partner, and they all appear endlessly, circling around us without giving us enough time to sit well, to catch the information and then understand, and also deciding what we're going to do with this data, with this information. Because having data is one thing, but then doing something about the data is another thing, right? Nevertheless, SDG is still a huge achievement to all of us, because finally, after years and years of consultation and negotiation, our world leaders finally agree not only one goal, but 17 goals. And we know, right, how excruciating it will be when our leaders, negotiating, consulting what we're going to do with our world. So for example, when you are having meeting with your community, even it's only a small community, local community, it's also feel excruciating, right? And can you imagine how you are going to do a meeting involving the world leaders coming from different countries, different background, and finally we can indeed agree in not only one goal, but especially to 17 goals. So that's really a huge achievement. In addition to that, SDG also have 5 pillars as the foundation, how it's going to progress. It consists of people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. And also they aim for initiatives they are environmentally non-degrading, economically viable, and socially acceptable. So the question now, how we progress, especially in regards to pandemic. Well, COVID-19 really opened up the fragility that we already have in our society, right? So in regards to SDG, COVID-19 really either it cancels the progress that we have, or it enhanced the stagnancy that we have from our SDG progress. So it's either 0 or to minus progress in regards to our SDG. So after we understand the SDG, its importance, its significance, and why we should be, where we have to take active contribution to it. Now it's our turn to take action on how to start our own advocacy in regards to global agenda. And whose turn? It's youth. Okay. Before we go deeper, let's define youth in accordance with UN definition, where youth defined as a group of society with age between 15 and 24 years old. It might be different from one country to another. For example, Indonesia, youth defined as a group of society with age between 16 to 30. It might be also different from your country. But what I'm trying to say here is that please allow me to share some facts that highlight the connection between youth and SDG. The first one would be 42% of the world's population are under 25 years old. So it falls into the category of youth defined by UN, right? And the second one will be youth is important in SDGs since they are the bridging group of society between today's and the future generation. Youth are projected to be the main group of society that will witness the success or the failure of SDG itself. So it's on us, mainly as a youth, to decide how this global agenda will look like in the future, in 2030. And this one would be SDG reflect the genuine dream of youth to see the world as a better place to live. I mean, many consider SDG as a pipe dream, too many goals, too little focus, right? But at core, SDG reflect the genuine dream that we have, reflect our wish and hope, bringing from ending poverty in one area, ending local conflict in one region, or human trafficking issue across regions. So it's really reflecting our wishes, our genuine hope to see a better, to see the world as a better place to live. And as a youth, youth is really interesting for me. I have to say, it's really unique group of society because they have everything, really everything, to create the change in this world, but only wisdom and resource. So they have everything but wisdom and resource, and that caused them to see change as a negative substance of life rather than seeing life as a change itself, since life is not separated from change. So life start when change start, right? So normal thing change as a new standard. What does not change is the change itself. So life is change. It's not separated at all. So how we can make sure that this change serve as a transformation in our life. So change stimulated what transformation promotes reaction. So when we have change and we add or respond to that change with our behavior proportionally and appropriate level, we can produce a transformation that will make us to be a better person. For example, I wish that all of us have heard about this, the story about carrot, eggs, and coffee in hot boiling water, right? When change takes place, for example, like we have losses, for example, we lost friend, money, or we lost materialistic, and then we respond to that change by giving our behavior proportionally. For example, we lost something, and then we respond to it by believing that, okay, I might lose this thing, but I gain insight. So that's become your transformation. Or for another example would be, I failed this ending for this attempts, but then I respond to it by sitting and then contemplating that what caused this failure. Maybe I need coaching, maybe I need mentoring, maybe I need to talk to my senior, my parents to see what gift that I'm having right now to tackle my issues, my internal issues. That's your transformation. So change stimulated while behavior adding to change will promote transformation, which become your enlightening moment, your bulb moment, your aha moment, your, to be a better version of yourself. Now, this is the links, the capacity building training that you can access. Most of them are free, but some of you would be partial paid, provided by this organization. You can access to this link to start off your capacity building training in SDG. For example, from World Bank, from Danish Institute for Human Rights, everything out there, you can access to this organization to build your own unique needs and capacity. Also, you also can sign up to SDG Academy provided by SDSN. So SDG Academy is free, but if you wish to have certificate to add to your portfolio work, to show, to establish partnership or to apply a program, scholarship or work, you can have the certificate by paying, I think it's around $50 to have the certificate from SDG Academy. And it's really good, good curriculum. They have really good curriculum, comprehensive curriculum from impressive speakers, mentor and teacher and lecturers. So it's really highly recommended if you want to hone in your skill in SDG advocacy. I'm really recommending you to sign up to this program. If you're looking for opportunities as individual organization, you can go to Airtable Youth SDG Entrepreneur Opportunities. Just Google it, and then you can find a whole bunch of opportunities to start your startup, to build your business, to engage in existing collaboration that this organization provide. For example, from Erasmus, from Rolex, from Stanford. They're looking for partners as individual organization to support their organization, or it's only competition. You also can sign up to this program for competition, for conference, and so on and so forth. Partnership, again, joining SDSN, Sustainable Development Social Network. If you wish to join this, it's voluntary, most of them, and you can start your initiative either in your country or by virtually contributing to the program that already exists in SDSN from all around the world. And if you wish to see the progress of SDG, you can go to sustainabledevelopment.un.org, where you can see the progress of each goal from each country and what they are looking for to support or to elevate their progress. For example, whether they need money, they need volunteers, they need how to say, resource speakers, or they need more engagement in terms of media exposure, so on and so forth. And if you wish to see how certain country or all country in the world progressing SDG, you can go to SDG tracker. So for example, if you wish to see the progress of quality education, goal number 4, you can just go to SDG tracker, choose quality education, and then you can see the progress of how this goal running in all countries of the world, and also maybe from certain countries, and the visualization from the data would be in PNG, in picture, or in Excel, or in other form PDF that you can have to meet your own unique need and capacity. So it's really out there. You just can Google, download, and use it, adjust it to your need and capacity. This is SDG Action Award. This is like the big of event, the biggest event that we have as SDG Advocate. Everyone's gathered there. I think the deadline extended till 9 October, like a couple days ago. It just ended. So we all gather here as an advocate, as individuals, as volunteers, also international organization also here to hear more inspiring stories from advocate and SDG, and also how we can enhance this initiative by collaboration, by partnership, so on and so forth. Now from my side, I'm now working as an ambassador of Uyolo. Uyolo means happiness, coming from one of local language in South Africa. And I'm more than happy to help you if you wish to have support in terms of funding or engagement to support your SDG initiative. So we're a platform that trying to connect people to people, or organization to organization, on how to upscale the SDG initiative that they already have. So maybe from funding, maybe from engagement, capacity building, so on and so forth. Just DM me on IG at Ayu Pratiwi or ayupratiwi@gmail.com. Just email. I'm more than happy to help you. That brings to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much. Let's connect. I'm very available on social media because that's one of my, that's also the part of my work as an advocate. So I'm more than happy to connect with you massively to create a better world, to create a world as a better place to live, to support SDG, to accomplish the global goals by 2030. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Ayu. If people have any questions, I guess feel free to kind of unmute your mic or to kind of put it in the chat if you have any. So we'll just leave a couple minutes for that. And then I'm just going to finish off with a little conclusion about how to kind of get involved with the Global Spotlight if you're interested. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat.
Hi.
Hi, Linda.
Hi. I was really like interested in like just like how did you hear about Global Spotlight? I was just like curious about that because like it did start in Vancouver, and I think you said you were like in Indonesia, I think. If I'm not wrong, yeah. So I was just like wondering like how did you just hear about it? Because like I live in Ottawa. It's like my friend like just told me about it, and but like all the way on the other side of the world. I was just kind of curious about that.
Okay, thank you so much, Linda. Very interesting question. So I think I've heard about Global Spotlight from one of my colleagues in SDG. I think it's from my World 2030 Advocates program, which the program that I'm doing my SDG work now. So we share a lot of information about SDG, like sharing sessions, like over by Global Spotlight, and also the workshop session and how we can upscale our campaign activities together. So that's why I heard about the Global Spotlight, and I opened up the website, I learned from its LinkedIn and social media handles, and I see it's very interesting, and we have shared mutual purpose, so why not?
Yeah, it's really cool. I don't know. I was just curious. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you. If you have many information to be shared to this forum, I'm very open to it. And I think we all want to hear, right, information or updates about SDG from your country if you know, or you want to start an SDG initiative in your country. Anything, just share information that you feel beneficial to all of us here in regards to SDG. Okay, I think we have question, Trisha. May I read by myself?
Sorry, I couldn't find.
I'm gonna help you.
The microphone was. There is a question in the chat. There's two. I think the first one is directed at you. So if you want to answer that before, yeah. So there's the first question. If you want to tackle that one first.
Okay, thank you. Okay, from Leah May, I hope I spell your name correctly, pardon me. Hi, thank you for the presentation. Which SDG do you think has made the most progress so far? In regards to which goal that has progressed, the best progress so far, I think it's poverty. I know it's still going not so positively, but we have made so much progress compared to 1990. So why MDGs continue as an SDG? Because when we see MDG as an urgency to tackle poverty in the world, we can see that there's a huge result of doing MDG to tackle poverty. That's why the world leaders decided to continue MDGs as an SDG, the expansion of MDG, because we see that, okay, with this goal, only 8 goals, we succeeded to tackle poverty. At the time, I'm not mistaken, they decided to tackle like 12% to uplift the poverty, to tackle poverty level compared to 1990 to 2000 and 2005. And then from then on, they see that there's a huge positive result. So why we don't continue this progress by creating more goals with more comprehensive goal, more targets and indicators, not only tackling poverty, but also poverty in all descriptions. For example, like poverty in education, poverty in gender equality, poverty in work opportunities. That's why SDG become this expansion of MDG, and that's why SDG was born in 2015. So I can say that it's poverty, even though all the other goals are also catching up, but because of poverty is really like, how to say, the primary, the direct result that everyone expects to see, you know? So that's why that's become the most apparent goal that we can see that produce result. I think that's for me. And also Beatrix Sandana, I hope I spell your name correctly. My time and I are currently building mobile app to solve sexual misconduct issue in Indonesia. Okay, are you from Indonesia? Hi, Indonesia. But we're like our partners to be interviewed. You want to talk, Beatrix, directly? I'm more than happy to hear. If you wish to, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, hi, I'm Beatrix. I'm from Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm currently studying in the US. So actually, I volunteer with another organization in Indonesia. So our team and I are currently building mobile app to solve the sexual misconduct issue in Indonesia. But we lack of partner to be interviewed regarding this issue. Yeah, and we also would like to know how our app can help to solve that issue in Indonesia. Would that be okay for our team or our organization to contact you if we need help regarding that?
For sure.
Thank
Feel
you.
free. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you, Beatrix. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is that it?
I'll just quickly, Beatrix, if you were you able to grab, I know, right, this is the contact information of the Global Spotlight, but if you wanted to grab Ayu's contact information, I'm just not sure if you were able to catch that on her slide. So if not, Ayu, maybe you could put that in the chat so that she could
Okay.
to you. And I think there's another question. It's so hard for me to see the chat when my screen is shared, but yeah, there's another question here that is directed at you, Ayu. So if you want to tackle that one after you put your contact information in the chat.
Okay. From Leah May, thank you so much. Thank you. Which SDG do you think countries need to focus on more? I think it's for sure gender equality, feminism, right? I think we're still really behind of what we are expecting to see in terms of gender equality, because it's kind of, I have to say that it's ingrained culture in most countries that what we see resulted in gender equality. For example, in work opportunities, in how we see women should be obligated to do in household, and also the same opportunities to pursue education. It happens in developing country or in developed country. I mean, it's not only from the society, but also double standard for society, but also women that I know especially, they feel like they are they do not have that obligation or the drive to pursue what they are dreaming to be, you know. So I think the first thing we must to focus on is that we need to encourage women to be to pursue their dream, to have a dream, for example, to begin with, to have a dream, to pursue their dreams, and also to initiate more initiative to pursue their dream, maybe starting their business line, maybe raising family with higher education, maybe helping communities around them. And then we can, after we have many women, more women to have this mindset, then we can directly educate society to believe that gender equality is really the core solution of all gaps of disparity that we see in society. If we give equal opportunities, if we give this equal mindset to women to upscale their improvement, the self-improvement, their work development, I think we can see more positive progress in gender equality. I hope so. So maybe starting from you, because I see many women here. So I hope that we can educate, we can share the spirit to leaving no one behind of SDG, to women, to children, to men, to everyone, that literally SDG is about leaving no one behind. Okay, I'm gonna type first for metrics.
Awesome. Okay, great. Yeah, so we just put her contact information in the chat. If anyone has any other questions that they want to ask Ayu about the SDGs, go ahead. Yeah, so just feel free to unmute your mic or to put your questions in the chat.
Sure. Just connectivity. Okay.
I had a question actually. I feel that I kind of wanted to ask. So how do you feel kind of about the progress of the SDGs? Like, do you think we're on track to kind of to fulfill these goals, or how do you feel about the progress that has already been done?
Because I think, first of all, that's really interesting question. Many of us feel powerless, right? We feel so tired, we feel so jaded with how this world goes on. So we kind of seeing any new agenda, any new promise from our work, for example, like global agenda, it feels like empty words. It feels like only pipe dreams. So before we even trying to learn to read the global goals, to even understand, to discern the global goals, we feel, how to say, like power. We feel it's just empty word. We feel reluctant to even see the global goals, because many people see it as, you know, another empty words, another promises that will be broken by our world leaders, you know. So it creates bias before even it started. So at core, we must eliminate this this perspective, this mindset, that we must be open to any possibilities. We must be open to new agenda, to new promises, to new movement that the world is trying to introduce to us. So from that on, we can continue on how we can adjust our capacity, our need to meet with the expectation of the agenda itself. For example, like SDG, I'm trying to tap into my capacity as a consultant environment with the global goals as a global agenda that the combined environments, economy, and social. That's what I'm trying to tap into. So from that on, I work on advocacy and strategic communication, especially in policy recommendation. So that's what I'm trying to do. From your side, maybe as a student, you can start by spreading the word of SDG, maybe try initiating your campaign to communities around you, or maybe you can start a book, maybe you can start an ebook to spread the spirit of living the well-being of SDG. Maybe you can just make, I don't know, like on your story, on your IG story, to share the word of SDG. You know, you can start from literally from where you are, because SDG, the resource and the tools is really out there. You only can have to Google and choose what resource that you need to meet your own capacity and needs, and then there you go. It only like, it's just start from you, from within, what you can do, what you need that meet your personal goals. So from that on, you can adapt and adjust to the global goals.
Okay, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so if there's any other questions, maybe we'll give it maybe 1 or 2 minutes if anyone has anything else to ask. And then after that, we can go on with the conclusion. So yeah, just feel free to ask any questions.
Yeah, I think if I may share one of my story and how I started this advocacy SDG, is because it's like my personal, my personal pain, because I myself coming from hard background, coming from very simple background, you know, from poor family, from my parents only graduated from elementary school, and seeing this gap, I know how frustrating it can be when I'm trying to tackle my gap between where I am as a poor kid with no solid education background, from not really solid support from my parents, how I can move from where I am to where I'm going to be, you know, as a successful youth or consultant to be called. And from that on, when I see SDG, is that SDG is all about filling this gap. It's about tackling this gap from where you are to where you want to be. So from the world that we see today to the world that we want to see in the future, right? So that's why this goal really have comprehensive targets, goals, agenda, indicators that we want to accomplish, because the world issue is really complicated, multi-layered, multi-sectoral. So we have to have really quite a lot of goals and indicators and targets to make sure that we are meeting with all expectation. And even though it's not gonna happen because we cannot please everyone and anyone, but at least this goes trying to tap into all sectors in the most harmonious and balanced way. So coming from my own personal pain, where I know how frustrating it can be to tackle my own gap, I see this SDG also is about trying to fill the gap in society. That's why I feel a strong correlation with SDG, and that's why I started my advocacy. So in order for you to start your own advocacy in SDG or in any other causes, you must find your personal pain. You must find the personal cause why you want to start that advocacy. Because if it's only like you want to get along with the mainstream movement, you just, you want to get that label, you want to, even if you want to have fame, you want to be well known, so on and so forth, it's not going to work. You have to have that value to make sure that whatever challenges happen in front of you when you are trying to work on your SDG, your campaign, your advocacy, nothing can change you, nothing can stop you. I mean, nothing can stop you, because you have this personal value that always make you remember why you start this cause, why you started advocacy. So that's from my side. Find your own personal pain, find your own personal cause.
Thank you so much again, Ayu, for that. Your insights about the SDGs are really amazing. And thank you so much to everyone who asked questions. Those are all very insightful, and I'm glad that you all are interested in learning more. Yeah, so I guess we can kind of end it there if no one has any other questions. Thank you so much again, Ayu, for coming to our Spark session. I'm just going to conclude here with a little bit of a conclusion. So yeah, this is just how, if you're interested in getting involved with the Global Spotlight, you can contact us here at any of our social media pages and our email, of course. So Mohammed, you had a specific question about starting a chapter in Gambia. So we currently do not have a chapter in Gambia, but if you want to email us, you can let us know if you're interested in starting one. We are very accessible. We don't want to turn anyone away. If you're interested in getting involved and want to make a difference in your community, we will 100% support you and welcome that, because that's kind of the whole reason that we started this organization. So yeah, just come reach out to us. Let us know if you're interested in volunteering, in starting a chapter, in joining an international chapter. Just let us know, and we will give you all the right information and direct you to the right people in order for you to get involved with the Global Spotlight. So yeah, that's all I pretty much had to say. Thank you all again for attending our session. I hope to see you all at future Global Spotlight events, so just stay tuned on our social media pages and in your email as well. So yeah, if there's nothing else, I'll stay a couple minutes if anyone wants to stay back and ask questions, but if not, then everyone is free to go. So thanks so much, everyone, for coming again. And I hope you have a good night or morning or whatever it is, wherever you're joining us from. But see you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Trisha. Thank you so much, everyone.